Gaining Vision. I'm Melanie. Thanks so much for clicking. To my returning family, the Visionaries, thank you for your continuous love and support. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please feel at home. Have you had an opportunity to subscribe to the channel yet? If not, take a second, hit subscribe, and please don't forget to like and share. If I was to ask you what qualities make a good international leader, what would you say? For me, I think of somebody who's diplomatic, professional, well-educated and well-informed, somebody that does their research, understands what's out on the table. I think of somebody who's compassionate, who's ready and willing to work towards a solution, collaboratively, connecting with others. But most importantly, I think it's somebody who's ready to stand up for what's right and call people out when they do something that's wrong. Do any leaders come to your mind yet? For me, it definitely has to be the South African Minister of Foreign Affairs. She's incredible, and every time she takes the stage to address an audience, her speeches are engaging. She has something powerful to say. And recently at the United Nations Security Council, when she was there to address them on the topic of Palestine and Israel, her speech was amazing. Let's take a listen to it and come back and analyze it.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to begin by thanking the Federative Republic of Brazil for convening this timely open debate. We found the briefings this morning most instructive. They provided terrible insights into the plight of innocent civilians in Gaza and the West Bank, as well as pointed to the urgent need to ensure the release of Israeli hostages as soon as possible. South Africa agrees with many of today's speakers that the ultimate solution to the conflict is finalizing the question of the two-state solution. We must work hard through the United Nations to create two states, Palestine and Israel, living side by side in peace and security. This must be done in accord with the established UN resolutions on the two-state solution. The Palestinian state should be created along the 1967 borders, with East Jerusalem as its capital. South Africa also joins the urgent calls for an immediate comprehensive ceasefire, and that humanitarian corridors should be opened so that aid and other basic services reach all those in need. Most importantly, we call on all parties to exercise restraint and to desist from fueling this patently unjust war and suffering of innocents. Mr. President, we also express condolences to the people of Palestine and of Israel for the lives lost during the past 2 weeks. We are horrified at the blatant targeting of civilians, a clear violation of international humanitarian law, the Geneva Convention and its protocols. Both Hamas and the State of Israel have committed these violations. Chairperson, the killing of civilians and destruction of civilian infrastructure in Gaza by Israeli forces goes against the tenets of international law, which prohibits the targeting of non-combatants, especially women, the aged, and children. There is an added obligation on an occupying power over the people and territory it occupies in terms of the Geneva Conventions, including a prohibition against collective punishment. This, of course, does not detract from South Africa's concern at the actions of Hamas, which also targeted non-combatants. Whilst we express concern at the current violence and deaths, we cannot ignore the fact that continued occupation has bred hatred, suffering, and pain. Just as Israel deserves peace and security, so are Palestinians deserving of sovereignty, peace, and security. It is our view that for international law to be credible, it must be applied uniformly and not be selective. Mr. President, in our view, the conflict has again illustrated the inadequacy of our own global organization, this body, the United Nations, and in particular, this Council, which has the mandate of maintaining international peace and security. The Council has clearly not been able over time to prevent conflicts from spiraling into intense violence and harm to ordinary civilians. All of us need to work harder at reforming our organization so that it is more capable of responding in protection of civilians. We all recall that in 1994, a genocide occurred in Rwanda with much of the whole world watching as innocent people were massacred. History cannot keep repeating such cruelty with all of us watching. We should establish a system of global governance that is fair, equitable, and has the capacity to respond to the needs of all persons in situations of threat and harm. A system that is not just a tool for the most powerful countries of the world, but that provides protection for the most vulnerable. Finally, South Africa is appalled at the Security Council's failure to agree a unified resolution that signals a full commitment to ending killing and suffering. There can be no search for compromise resolutions when this council is faced with a crisis of such proportions. We thus urge the council to do its work and ensure security and peace for the residents of Israel and of Gaza. I thank you, Chairperson.
Wow, that was a powerful speech, wasn't it? She's like a conductor of an orchestra, orchestrating our emotions, bringing us in and out, whatever she had to say. Not only was she diplomatic, acknowledging what they were doing there at the Security Council, what she had learned that day, but also she talked about what was happening in Israel as well as in Palestine. She said that both Hamas and the Israeli government was wrong in what they did, but of course provided compassion and sent her condolences to both the Israeli and Palestinian people that had lost their lives. She was ready and prepared to work towards a solution of peace together, collaboratively. But she stood firm and talked about how South Africa was appalled at the United Nations Security Council for not being able to come up with a firm resolution. I appreciated this because she was keeping us listening. And she demonstrated what an excellent international leader is really made of. But guys, I'm faced with questions. Why is it the minister has never run to be president of South Africa? She's got it all. And also my other question is, why are there not more women leaders in the world like Minister Pandor? We need women to stand up and take a page out of her book. It's amazing to see what is possible when you have diplomatic tendencies, problem-solving skills, compassion, and a firm, stiff backbone. Everything she says is accurate, to the point, and yet she says in such a way that you don't feel like she's being too harsh. You feel like she understands and she's listening to you. This is why many women leaders are needed in this world, and that way the world would be a much better place, don't you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts and ideas, not only on Minister Pandor's speech, but also answer my questions. Why has she never run for president? Why are there not more women leaders? And definitely, are there other leaders that have these qualities? Or perhaps you think there's other qualities I've missed. Please drop them in the comments below and let's have a conversation. Until next time, please don't forget to hit the notification button and like and share. Until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.